feeling like we's different. You ain't the hustling type, we's different. Rick King.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the YouTube world, CJ Rose is back in the building. Welcome back to the channel. I don't know why I do that snap. I don't know why. But welcome back to the channel. All right. Let's strap in. Let's sit down. Let's get comfortable. Cause it's about time we talk about what we witnessed in this match right here. This wasn't a match. This was oh gosh. John Cena versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt, or against the Fiend, in a Firefly Funhouse match. Let me tell you something right now. This wasn't a match. This wasn't a fight. There was no action really in this match. What this was the most creative, psychological, entertaining, feels like you're on drugs for a minute, thing I've ever seen. Like, when I first saw this, I thought about 3 shots of heroin got injected into my veins, and I'm now hallucinating. Like, I've now lost my mind. But that wasn't the case. What it was see, it's the thing about John Cena, right? John Cena's had so many promos and so many programs with so many different people, and so many of them has said the same thing over and over in a different context. You know how CM Punk was. CM Punk, you know how that rivalry went. You know how he talked about Cena, called him a dynasty. He called him the New York Yankees, which is crazy, which was exceptionally disrespectful to somebody like John Cena, because he's from Boston. So that was disrespectful. You know, you had AJ Styles who came at him the same way. Roman Reigns tried to come at him the same way. Edge, or everybody has talked about Cena in the same light, like how he has buried talent, he's stopped people from getting to where they need to be, he's controlling things, this and that, he's doing all these things. What Bray Wyatt did was not only different, but it was exceptionally creative and innovative. And it was, I didn't understand it at first, probably like most people, but when I watched it the second time, I understood it. So, as you can see, I wrote a lot of notes about this one match, because I had to look back at it and try to understand it. And I did. Because my bro's sitting there like, I don't understand it. One of them like, what is this? I'm not watching WWE no more. He's saying that, but I broke it down to a way where I'm hoping people can understand it. So I'm about to try my best with this. Please bear with me. So this is John Cena virtually versus Bray Wyatt. 6 years ago, they had a match at WrestleMania 30 in 2014. At the time, Bray Wyatt was hot. He was on fire. He was the next one coming up. Then he met John Cena, and John Cena derailed that. And to this day, everybody has said, even Bray Wyatt himself, that if it wasn't for that match, he would not have been where he is. And since then, he was downhill. Sure, he won a WWE Championship at the time, but it didn't last long. Like, there was so much that Bray Wyatt character could have been if it wasn't for that loss against John Cena. Literally blaming John Cena for the loss. And it makes sense. I understand it. So, Bray Wyatt was hoping to rewrite history as the Fiend and do right. So, if I look down, if you see me looking down a lot, I'm trying to look at my notes and see what I wrote and figure out how I'm going to tell it to you. Okay, let's go. All right, so Cena comes out, regular, comes out, looks around, because he's not used to this. This is WrestleMania, no crowd, no fanfare. You're in a performance center, about to be one of the biggest matches on the card. You know, it's crazy. So he's kind of like, all right, welcome to WrestleMania. And then once he says that, it cuts out. Then there's like a video of Vince McMahon saying welcome to WrestleMania. At the very first WrestleMania, he said that. And then it cuts to Bray Wyatt at the Firefly Funhouse. And then he's basically giving us a summary of what the Firefly Funhouse is supposed to be. He says it's where demons, monsters, angels, and everything come together as one and as a family. So he welcomes John Cena to the Firefly Funhouse. And then Cena is then teleported to the Firefly Funhouse. Cena looks like, what is this? What's going on? So then Rambling Rabbit comes out of nowhere over there and says, oh, I know where Bray Wyatt went. He went through that door. So Cena just looks at him like, what the hell? But that's basically what it is. So Cena goes to the door. Boom. Goes to the door. He's walking. It's dark. He's walking. It's like he's walking in a dark room. Walking through. So then he's approached by a puppet virtually betrayed by Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon really must have thought that was funny, because honestly, I don't know how the hell he couldn't get mad at that. But I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon had a ball to probably prepare for this. So there was a puppet with Vince McMahon. He's looking at John Cena, and he's asking him what Vince McMahon asked the Raw roster in 2002. If you remember that segment in 2002 where Vince McMahon was in the middle of the ring and all the Raw superstars were surrounding it, he was asking him, do you have ruthless aggression? And that's all he was saying. He's like, do you have ruthless aggression? You know, do you have this for ruthless? Basically the same thing he virtually was saying in 2002. It was that same thing he was telling John Cena. So so at first I didn't understand it, but the second time I watched, I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. Then it transitions to Bray Wyatt in the ring with a microphone in his hand. And what he's saying verbatim is what Kurt Angle said in 2002 in John Cena's first match. Because if you remember, John Cena's first match was an open challenge by Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle went out and said, who back there thinks they got what it takes to take on me? Kurt Angle. Out comes John Cena. Now, Bray Wyatt is saying it verbatim, and then the fist from the original SmackDown set was just right there, right? It was right there. Then John Cena comes out in the same attire that he wore during that match. The same attire. It was like we're reliving the same promo just with Bray Wyatt. So Cena gets there, walks the same way, acts the same way, walks to the ring. So then Bray Wyatt asks the same question that Kurt Angle asked John Cena that same night. He says, what is your name? I'm John Cena. It's like, well, John Cena, what do you think you have? What do you think you have to think that you could compete with the... I forgot what it is verbatim, and I've heard it so many times. I'm shocked I don't know the words. But, basically what Bray Wyatt says exactly what Kurt Angle said. What do you think you have to think you can compete with the very best? Cena's answer, ruthless aggression. Now, at the time when Cena said that to Kurt, he said ruthless aggression and then smacked the hell out of Kurt Angle. In this case, this right now, he says ruthless aggression. Cena tries to go for a slap. Bray Wyatt ducked. And then Bray Wyatt proceed to bury that gimmick in 2002. He says, wow, who really thought this was gonna work? No wonder you were about to get fired. Like, he ran down Cena something crazy. I was like, wow. Because it was so creative and innovative that you watch it for a second time, it's amazing. It was so amazing. It was the way he broke it down, because at the time John Cena was doing the whole this was his debut, so he was coming in as the prototype, trying to basically be like the next one up, and it didn't work out the way that it should have. So from there, Cena's like, okay. No, I'm sorry. Bray Wyatt's like, I don't know why you thought this was gonna work. This was terrible. This was trash, garbage. Basically calling the whole thing horrible. Ran it down entirely. And then not John Cena. And then Bray Wyatt gets so petty. Cena's, the whole time Cena's going like ruthless aggression. Ugh. He's trying to swing, but he keeps missing. Bray Wyatt keeps ducking. So Cena says it one time. Swings, misses. Bray Wyatt goes, you can look, but you can't touch. Sure, that was so petty. That was so petty. The reason why it was so petty is because that is the first line off the theme song of John Cena's ex-fiancée, Nikki Bella. That was so petty. I was dying when I heard it. All right, so from there, it transitions to Saturday night's main event. Now, this is where I got lost real quick, because I didn't understand. This, and I think the segment after the next one, I was lost. But then I understood it once I really thought about it. So, it was transitioning to Saturday night's main event, and on commentary, it was the Buzzard. I forgot what his name is, the Buzzard. And he was parrying Macho Man Randy Savage. Then you had, Puppet McMahon as himself. And that's what it was back in the Saturday night's main event. That was the commentary team. It was Vince, and it was Randy Savage on commentary. So, okay, cool. All right, cool. But I was still lost at this. Like, why are you showing me Saturday night's main event? I don't understand. I'm kind of lost. So then Bray Wyatt is shown in his Muscle Man gimmick with the Muscle Man shirt, flexing and all that. And then he introduces John Cena. This is literally all about John Cena. So he introduced John Cena as, what did he actually ask? Johnny Large Man. Then Cena comes out, he's pumping weights, all that, right? And then Cena's like, I'm not Cena, Bray Wyatt's like, oh my God, he's astonished. He's amazed. Like, man, Cena's just doing this, just pumping iron, lifting weights, all that, just doing that. And everything. And I was trying to figure out what the hell is he doing? Like, I don't understand. I was lost here. Now I'm confused. I'm like, well, what are you trying to portray here? And as Cena was lifting, I think Cena dropped the weights, and then Cena just started going like this. He started swinging out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell? Then once Bray Wyatt said this line, it all made sense. So Bray Wyatt goes, what you gonna do when your ego starts running wild on you? Then I sat there, I said, oh. So Johnny Large Man is a portrayal of Hulk Hogan. Because for being honest, Cena was kind of portrayed as Hulk Hogan at a point in time. And Hulk Hogan had an ego. A really big ego. And a lot of stories will tell you that. From when he wouldn't let Macho Man Randy Savage win, when he took away the moment from Bret Hart, when he, so many moments that Hogan has done in his professional career, his ego got the best of him. And that's what Bray Wyatt was basically saying about John Cena. Your ego was getting the best of you. Your ego was getting out of control. And you can't, and there's no way for you to control it. So when I understood, I was like, okay. But I was still curious at where this was all going, because this was technically supposed to be a match. Now this looks like a damn therapy session. so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right. So then we transition into John Cena, the Doctor of Thuganomics. So, the whole word life theme is playing out. I had to flip because I had to go to the next page. So, Cena comes out in the same gear he wore last year at WrestleMania 35 when he did the whole thing against Elias. So he comes out and he's rapping to him, right? Just rap, because that's all he can do. He can't really talk regularly. He raps, because that's how Cena was in the Dr. Thuganomics gimmick. When he came out for every match, when he came out for promos, that's all Cena did. He did a rap every time in Dr. Thuganomics, in the Doctor of Thuganomics thing. Nothing but rapping. So that's what he did here. Nothing but rap. There was 2 lines that Cena said that was really good. This whole rap. He said, "If all I have is rap, then I'll use that to my advantage. Unlike Husky Harris, it's a weight I can manage." Now that was a complete shot at Bray Wyatt's former character, Husky Harris. Now, it's been said that Husky Harris was going to be fired if he did not control his weight, because I think there was a time I think Vince McMahon said he was overweight and he didn't want nothing to do with him. So at the time Bray Wyatt was going to get fired, or I'm sorry, Husky Harris was going to get fired because of his weight, and if he didn't control it, then he would have been gone. Luckily, he did just that, and here we are now. And then the last line that Cena said was this: "You've been a disappointment ever since they brought you to the dance. You're a slut for opportunity. You are blowing every chance." That line was so crazy because I was like, damn. And I thought right then and there, I'm like, oh man. I thought Bray Wyatt wouldn't say anything, but because to me, I thought, Dr. Thuganomics gave my love. The Doctor of Thuganomics gimmick, I loved that gimmick. Everybody loved that gimmick. But for some reason, some way, somehow, Bray Wyatt found a way to even bring that down. Like, shut that down. And it's like that, and that's crazy. Because from there, his retort was, "You want to talk about chances? I had to work for every chance that I got. Meanwhile, everything was given to you." As I said, prior to this, I said the Husky Harris thing. Like, if he didn't control his weight, he would have got fired. So he did that, lost the weight, and then got a whole new gimmick, and then he worked hard to get to where he was. While John Cena was giving everything to him based off whatever. And I completely understand that. But I didn't think he would run down his character the way he did. And he said Cena was a bully and he joked about people's weaknesses. because that technically what was basically the Doctor of Thuganomics theme gimmick was. Like, he literally made a rap and talked about everybody's weakness. Like, he talked about the Big Show and his weight. He talked about how Brock Lesnar was a meathead with no brain. He talked about Rey Mysterio and his height. He talked about the A Train, how he don't shave his back. Like, there was so much he talked about, and I fully understood it, and I got it because it was true. Everything Bray Wyatt said was true, like, to the point. Like, everything he said was true, because Cena did just that. That whole gimmick, we all love that gimmick, but that's exactly what he did. Cena virtually bullied everybody. So when I said that, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Then when Bray Wyatt was done, he hit Cena with the mic. Boom, Cena was knocked out. So then we transitioned to the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, the gimmick that he started with when he got to WWE. And he basically talked about how everybody needed him. He was the voice that everybody needed in 2014 before he met Cena. He said he was on top of the world. He had the whole world in his hands. You know how he always said that. And then he said, well, John Cena was the man of the people, but the people needed me. So he was talking about how 2014 should have been his time. It should have been his moment. He should have won that match. Everything should not have... What happened there should not have happened. So then we transition to Bray Wyatt in the rocking chair in the middle of the ring. He says, "Run," you know, because that's what he said after every promo. Run, you know, that's all he did. Got up. John Cena was leaning on a turnbuckle in the same gear that he wore at WrestleMania 30. Bray Wyatt ran at him. He did his little dance thing that he always did with everybody. Then he was about to go for Sister Abigail, but they said, nah. That there's more. What he said? He said, there's more that need to be done to beat you, Superman. He said something like that, but he said Superman in it. So then he decides to take the chair and give it to Cena. Now, during that match in 2014, there was a scene where Bray Wyatt gave John Cena the chair. You know, he got on his knees, he did this, and then he told John, "Hit me, do the right thing." Basically telling Cena, go heel in this sense. Bray Wyatt basically relived that moment, and then he was telling John, you made the wrong choice. But that also symbolized, you should have put me over at that time. You should have gave me the rub. You buried me for your own ego. That was basically what he was trying to portray and trying to say. So from there, we transition to WCW Monday Nitro. Now this is what now here I'm confused as well. Right here, I'm lost. I don't get it. Why are we going to WCW Nitro? What the? These two weren't even in WWE when that was going on. So what the hell this had to do? What did Nitro have to do with this? Then it started to make sense. So Bray Wyatt's in the ring with the NWO shirt. And he's imitating Eric Bischoff, who, while in WCW, was part of the NWO. And the NWO ran roughshod all over WCW. That was the reason the WCW ran out of business, because the NWO controlled everything. And they did not know how to do anything. So it ran to the ground. So Bray Wyatt was basically portraying Eric Bischoff, and he was introducing John Cena. John Cena comes out in an NWO shirt with the WCW title with the NWO spray painted on it. So again, Cena is being portrayed as Hulk Hogan. But it's also being said, once again, John Cena is basically controlling everything. He's controlling everything. His ego is crazy, etc., etc. Now Cena was coming out, right? As Cena was coming out, he was trying to imitate Hulk Hogan when Hogan was in WCW. I mean WCW and NWO. How the puppet McMahon sits here and says, "This is some good shit." that's how he died. And that was so hilarious. It was so random, but it was so funny. Like, it was so hilarious. That was a moment. I like that. It was funny. But so yeah. So that was basically saying, Cena controls that. Basically, he's comparing Cena to Hogan, as Hogan was back in his day, where Hogan was controlling and manipulative, and called the shots and ran the show and did what he wanted to do. That's basically what Bray Wyatt was calling Cena most of the time. So then, out of nowhere, Cena just stops, turns around, throws his hat on the ground, then attacks Bray. Now, as he's hitting Bray, he's hitting Bray left and right. So he's hitting him in a mount position. He's hitting him. So Bray... as he's hitting Bray, you're seeing flashes of Cena's past. And it's not the good parts. It's actually the bad parts. It's actually the losses. So what you see is the infamous sign at ECW's One Night Stand 2006. If Cena wins, we riot. Then there's another one where Shawn Michaels is doing the DX chop while Cena is down. That was after the 60-minute classic regular televised match Shawn Michaels and John Cena had, where Shawn Michaels won. Then they show CM Punk and Punk winning that Money in the Bank, and then kissing the WWE Championship goodbye, with the WWE Championship to Vince McMahon. Then they show Randy Orton as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, because that was in 2013 when Randy Orton won that. And then they show 2014 where John Cena's getting his ass beat against Brock Lesnar. Then they show Cena's armband in the middle of the ring when Cena lost to AJ Styles at SummerSlam 2016. Then they show Roman Reigns getting his hand raised by John Cena after Roman Reigns beat John Cena. Then they show The Undertaker tombstoning John Cena 2 years ago at WrestleMania 34. And as Cena was doing that, all that was flashing past his eyes. But as he was doing that, the next thing you know, he's hitting, but he's hitting the pig puppet. I don't know what his name is. I forgot what his name is. But he's hitting him. And it's almost to symbolize that you're hitting yourself. You're beating yourself up because you're the reason for your own losses. So I was like, wow. Okay. And then, out of nowhere, here comes the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The Fiend, I keep saying Fiend Bray Wyatt, I'm sorry. But here comes the Fiend. The Fiend looks at him, has the heel glove on one, the hurt glove on the other, doesn't know what to do, gives Cena the mandible claw. Right then and there, he got him down. Then picks him up, goes for Sister Abigail, boom. Mandible claw one more time. Cena on the mat. Bray Wyatt come out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. So I'm guessing the Fiend won. So the Fiend won in the most craziest way possible. On top of that, we transition back to the front of the ring. Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil is a meme now, bro. Titus O'Neil made himself a meme with that surprise. Titus has hand on his head, microphone right here. He like, I can't believe what I saw. Bro, we all can't believe what we just saw. That was so unexpected. It was unexpected. It was entertaining. It was creative, innovative, interesting to me when I watched it the second time. Because during the first, I didn't understand it. I was dying laughing when it was all over because I didn't know what the hell to really think. But really looking at it, I understand it. So Bray Wyatt broke down John Cena in a way nobody's ever done. And I still think to this day it's still the most, well, to this day, I'm saying it like it was years ago. But out of all the promos Cena's been given in his life, this is by far I never seen nobody break down John Cena the way Bray Wyatt did. That was crazy. So, right then and there, excuse me. So, remember when I said that Edge and Orton was the match of the night at the time? This was the match of the whole pay-per-view. This wasn't even a match. This was a therapy session, psychology, creativity. It was everything in one. That's exactly what this was. And honestly, looking back at it now, I loved every minute of it. It was so good. This was the best damn thing WWE has done creatively in years. And who else to get it but John Cena? I guess John Cena let his ego get out of his way and actually let this happen. So, props to you, Mr. Juan Cena. If you have opportunity to watch that, please do. Because that is going to be the craziest damn thing you will ever see. But you'll love it. And I loved it. You know the crazy part about it? That wasn't even the end of Mania. We about to get to the end of Mania. And the match that closed the night out. Let's get it.